Hey, it's Brian and Chris with you again. The topic today is why we install and recommend UniFi access points for Wi-Fi and their switches. So I have one of the access points here. This is one of the smaller units. And basically, we like the look and feel of the access points. They look good up in the ceiling, right? So the aesthetic part of the system is very good. But on top of that, they have we actually manage access points and switches in our cloud environment for our clients. And basically what happens is the access points and switches talk to that server in the cloud. And Chris is going to show you a little bit about the graphical interface of the UniFi portal. Chris, take it away.
All right, so this is just an example here. This is just a lab environment, but as you can see in here, this is just the topology. I got a USW Lite 16 port PoE switch and a U6 LR access point, and we can pretty much manage everything from this controller. So UniFi does have, there's something called the cloud key that you can set up on premise, and that'll act as the controller. But for our case, this is just hosted in in Linode on a VPS. But anything I need to do here, like if I need to restart devices, if I need to update the firmware, that can all be done from this management interface. And then you can also configure, things like your wireless networks, your network, various, VLANs you may have set up. And it generally works well. I mean, I haven't really played much with the routing equipment. We don't generally, we usually use some other type of firewall. In my experience, both pfSense and FortiGate worked really well with UniFi. Like I had no issues whatsoever. The only thing that might be a little awkward to somebody who's technical would be, you have to define your VLANs twice, both on the firewall and on within the UniFi software.
Okay, so maybe you could show the screen of the clients, some of the clients on the network.
Yeah.
So you can see here we have pretty good insight into all the devices connected up to the network. So things like iPhones, tablets, laptops, regular desktop computers, and you can also see what they're connected to. In this case, a lot of them are connected to a what they call a light switch. So they have them all the way down. Is it 4 ports or 8 ports? Anyway, there's a smaller version. Yeah, 8 port.
Yeah, well, so there's the 8 and the 16. The 16 has, what is it? I think 8 PoE ports, and then the others are just regular 1 gig ports.
Yeah, and we find, sometimes when you just need to say you don't have enough ports, we can use a light to connect up multiple devices where there aren't enough cable jacks. And they make nice backbone switches for the corporate network. They go all the way up to 48 ports. So that's usually I go to like a 48 port PoE switch, a power over Ethernet switch, can power all your wireless access points. So they dovetail nicely, both the switch and the access points. Chris, is there anything else that we should point out about the UniFi? This is just a general overview, but any other things that you like about it?
Well, it makes, so say you have an IoT network or a guest network, you can just enable, client device isolation if you want to isolate a wireless environment from, your main wireless network. But mostly that's it. But you can also drill down on some of the devices too, and see insights on them. What else? Also, if I want to see, what's connected into my switch, it tells me which ones are, what's connected here, and there's a whole port manager section, and you can, drill down further, and it just gives you, extra insight into your network that you may not get from the firewall or whatever other networking equipment you're using.
And I believe, Chris, you can turn off these ports, disable these ports if you
Yep.
say you just didn't want some random person connecting in with their laptop into one of your network jacks. You could actually disable it from here.
And then, that brings up another point too with wireless networks. In a business environment, you don't want people jumping between you don't want internal business laptops on the guest network jumping between various wireless networks. So you can use something like MAC address filtering, whether you want to do like an allow list with only allowed devices for the internal network. And then on the guest network, you could set up, what's it called? A deny list. So all those internal devices you're allowing are denied on the guest network.
That's great. All right. Thanks for showing us that, Chris. And look forward to another one of our videos. Take care.
All right.